The rainwater dripping from my umbrella makes interesting, almost artistic patterns on the floor. I've not once apart from my shoes that leave small puddles in my wake, completing the rainwater artwork. Moya is here too, chatting with Sai at the back of the gallery. Rin's nowhere to be seen though. Maybe she's upstairs. There are no customers though, which figures considering the bucket loads of water dropping on the neck of anyone daring to brave the weather today. Welcome. Hello, sorry to interrupt.
Good afternoon, Nakai. Came all the way here for a visit.
No, I think it was just an impulse. I was around the neighborhood shopping and decided to stop by. My reflective reaction is a white lie, which surprises myself. Maybe I just don't want to say that I came specifically to see Rin, even though that much must be obvious. We stumbled over that line there. Why, you chose a bad day for shopping. Would you like some tea to warm you up? Thank you, but I'm fine, really. Well, it could be better, though. Rain on the first day of vacation is a bit depressing.
Well, I'm sure it'll get better.
My office is hearty laughter bordering on abrasive. Rain doesn't get you down, teacher?
Well, I do prefer clear weather as well. I was actually leaving just now to meet someone, and I'd prefer not getting my jacket soaked. It's very expensive. But of course, I'm in a good mood. What did you think about the exhibition? It was wonderful, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very fancy. My unenthusiastic answer only spurs him to carry on walking around the gallery while blabbering about the opening. He talks more and louder than he is moving. It's something I noticed at the club meetings too.
We got to talk with many good people and make valuable contacts. One of Suzuka's paintings even got sold to a collector from Osaka.
I follow his eyes to an empty space in the wall. I can't even remember which painting was hanging on its spot. Well, it's gone now.
It was lucky that she was all right despite that dizzy spell. She got a little quiet though, so I told her to rest well. Then again, she's always been pretty shy.
Shy or whatever, I just nodded along with the teacher.
Reception was very positive in general. That face, Nomoya, I might be able to get one of my friends to write a little article on a magazine too.
Shinichi, you're making Mr. Takahashi wait. Sai's remark makes him stop in his tracks and check his wristwatch. Moya frowns in displeasure at the interruption to his tirade.
Oh, right, yes. Well, I'll be off then. We'll meet in September, Nakai.
Bye. Wow, Chicho really doesn't hold back when it comes to Rin's budding artist career. I guess it takes a lot to succeed, but I suppose his job would be easier if Rin was more cooperative. She's too indecisive even though she's doing just fine, like that dizzy spell from the night before. You know, the word indecisive, I was like thinking there. Just like, didn't he have like, and then I was like, no. It's like, what are you even talking about? But like, I'm thinking back to Dark Apple 2 where, I forget his name now. What's the protagonist's name? Yoshiyuki, yeah, that was his name. And how he was like indecisive on some of the routes where he's just like, literally like in his dream they'd be like, you can't just keep being indecisive, you gotta make a choice. She just got freaked out or something and I didn't do anything to help her. I sigh. Feels like the gap between me and Rin is only widening. She's going to become something great while I'm still feeling like I'm bogged down. That's my promising myself to try and make something of my life. On top of that, we had that fight, and the longer we keep not talking, the harder the wounds become to heal. If that even is what we want, I never found out what Rin felt, and now I'm not sure what I feel myself. I wish I could understand her, but Rin is not very open for interpretation. Not that she's hiding anything, she just seems to defy my attempts at making sense of what she is talking about on any given day. Something on your mind. I realize I've been spacing out in the middle of the gallery for who knows how long. Nothing special. I pretend to study the closest paintings to distract her. I've seen it before. The now all too familiar strokes of color twisting and melting into each other, seemingly randomly still manage to feel like there's something happening behind the scenes, so to speak. Rin's style is so much like her, abstract, incomprehensible, colorful, mysterious. I wonder if to understand an artist one must understand art. I may have a question. Oh. She looks up from the magazine she was idly leafing through, seeming delighted at my display of unspecified interest. How do you interpret art? What do you mean? Her eyebrows rise high into questioning arcs, as if the question was too complicated to even begin to answer without clarification. Sorry if I'm asking something stupid. I don't think I really understand art like the pros do. Oh, there's no trick to it. Sai waves my question away with a simple but effective flick of her wrist. Everyone interprets art as they will, and interpretation is as much in the eye of the beholder as is in the intention of the creator. Pros have their own way, because there is this thing called art theory. There are patterns in art, just like in everything, and we assume that it's possible to draw some conclusions from observing those patterns. The voice is like a teacher is lecturing and adding emphasis on random words to keep the listeners on their toes. In the end, I suppose it's pretty meaningless. She moves the musing seemingly to herself and muttering loud enough for me to clearly hear. A good piece of art will make you feel something, and that's all there is to it. Feelings change, and they affect the art we create and the art we see. But I'll tell you a story. You have to. The last one was depressing. It's important. Listen. About 100 years ago, a little-known painter got news from his friend, a man called Casagemus or whatever, had committed suicide. This happened while he was away and hadn't seen his friend for a while. So obviously he must have felt even more conflicted than you normally would after hearing of such a thing. For 4 years after that, our main character did nothing but monochromatic paintings because he was so deeply affected by the news. Whatever he did, he always kept returning to that same color until it let him out of its grasp. She takes a little pause to check whether I'm still following. I am to an extent, so I give her the prompt that storytellers seem to live for. So it's hard to continue from that, as I can't seem to come up with a question she wants me to come up with. Like a half-baked sophist, she thought she laid out all the tools for revelation in front of me. Don't you see the point yet? Only her student proved to be too dense to get. She looks discontent at my slowness. Picasso's Blue Period is one of the most lauded in the history of art, and who knows what he felt when he worked on those masterpieces. Sadness, longing, regret. Nobody can tell. If you now see one of his Blue Period paintings, you probably interpret it differently from before you knew about Picasso's friend, Casagemus. Experiencing art is always personal, only interacted by chances or circumstances. There are a million explanations for any given piece of art, but it might be that none of them are what the creator intended. So, is what she's trying to get across to him is that art just kind of like depends on what's like, you know, if someone's depressed and they do a painting, their depression will have influence on the painting. If they're happy, it'll influence it. If they don't really feel anything much about painting, who knows what it really look like, because just like, nothing in particular, just kind of doodles. Maybe that would be, I don't know. Wouldn't necessarily be abstract, but, because abstract could be like the same with that. It's like, you're happy, but you're gonna draw some abstract art today. You're depressed, but you're going to draw some abstract today. Or it's like, how about we just like paint a landscape, but you're depressed, so it'll have a kind of slightly dark and lonely feel to it. You're happy. Let's draw a landscape that's bustling with life and energy. I think that's probably what she's talking about, right? Unless I completely missed the point as well. No man is an island, you know. I nod words understanding what that last remark meant. What she said made sense otherwise, except for one thing. If art is communication like Rin said, but everyone is talking their own secret language, like Sai said, what can anyone ever hope to communicate? It seems so futile and pointless. Art really is not a thing for me. Sai returns to her art magazine and I make a round in the gallery, trying to see what Rin can see in her own paintings. A soothing mood takes hold of the gallery, surrounded by the rainstorm, the big windows making the transparent isolation feel more comfortable. A tinkle of the bell, disrupts the tranquil mood. Rin pushes the door open with her shoulder and steps in. I'd almost forgotten that she was the reason why I came to the gallery in the first place. I think I'm ready. She pauses mid-sentence, noticing my presence. The needle drop in silence lasts for exactly 1.5 seconds, not enough for either me or Sai to open our mouths, but enough for Rin to react. I'm going for a walk. Heading back outside with a reckless pace, uncharacteristic of herself, Rin seems to forget that it's still raining. Without giving it any real thought, I grab my umbrella and hurry after her. I catch Rin around the corner, open the umbrella and lift it above the two of us while still having to almost run to keep up with her. She doesn't protest me running after her, nor me giving her shelter against the rain, eventually slowing her pace down so I can match it without an immediate danger of overexerting myself. I relaxed from the rush, assessing the situation. Last time I held my umbrella to guard both of us against the rain, I didn't think too much about it. But now all the things that happened since then are gathering into a freezing cold ball around my stomach. Being close to her makes me uncomfortable, and I feel myself blistering slightly. It's hard to get words out of my mouth, as it feels suddenly very, very dry. Still, it's not like I can back off. Why do you keep running away? I don't want to talk to you. I want to talk to you. It hurts every time I do. Sometimes it can be helped. I don't want to hurt. Fine, we don't have to talk. What should we do? Let's just keep walking. Just walking? Just walking? Okay. Oh, it's that old familiar scene. Our footsteps go splish-splash in the shallow puddles forming on the streets as we walk through the rainfall. Rin, now walking beside me in her unhurried and relaxed manner, doesn't seem to be even a bit bothered by the fact that she's getting wet, even though she's needing to. She's partially out of the protective shelter of my umbrella, despite it being more than big enough for the two of us. It's as if she doesn't even notice the rain drenching her shirt. Rin's demeanor always evokes mental images of meditative calm, even when she might be in inner turmoil. But I don't think that is meditation. This is just getting soaked in rain. That, I mean. I wish I could be more calm too. I've become too involved with Rin to retain my usual aloofness. It feels like I've become one of those people who fool themselves into thinking they are objective, only to find out that they are the worst kind of liars. Illusions to fool ourselves. What better way to make one feel like a good person? I'd be better to lose that illusion. I'll be going back home sometime, so I thought I'd come see you before that. I could have thought of a better conversation opener, but Rin actively refusing to talk makes it hard. That's good. I might have thought that you'd have been kidnapped otherwise. You can't keep running away from everything, not even from me trying to talk seriously. I'm always serious. Also, I seem to be running very slowly right now. Maybe I should take a lesson from Emmy. It's futile, like talking to a brick wall that randomly spouts sarcastic nonsense back at you. Think of your exhibition opening. What if you had run away? Rin doesn't answer to that. She just keeps walking, or running slowly, escaping from me into her silence. She has a knack for being alone in company, I've noticed. We head down the street, then turn left, then 3 times right, then left again. It's like that night from some time ago. We keep choosing directions randomly, but it doesn't matter where we're going. All that matters is walking and the sound of raindrops drumming against the umbrella. Water flows down from the roofs of the buildings and into the storm drains in wide burst. Even though I try to step over them, my feet are getting wet from my shoes. We keep walking in silence that just begs to be broken again. I'm sure I'm the only one feeling like this, though. Why did you have the expedition? Rin just shrugs sullenly and looks in the other direction. I give up at this point. It's pointless. What did she want to accomplish? What she said after the night of the opening made me feel that there was something special she wanted. Like, maybe if we picked the alt choice, something else would have happened. It felt to me that Rin hoped for something unattainable. She set the bar high, and inside her own head she failed, no matter how much people like her works. It's understandable to lack realism. Most people do, even if it's not quite on the extreme level Rin takes it to. But it's not a reason to live in your private world at exceptional distance. You can't bend the world to fit your twisted megalomaniac cosmology where everything works just like you want. That's what frustrates me most in reality. She wants the world to live by her rules, disregarding everything that conflicts with those as irrelevant or unnecessary. I can't believe how anyone in Yamaku did not have the bare minimum perception to understand that the world can sometimes be very unfair. I'm sure she's not the only one who wishes some things were different, but we can at least grasp the facts as they are. And that is, life fucking sucks, usually. I take a sideways glance at Rin, who is looking up at our dome-shaped cover. It is a poor replacement for our real sky in its monochrome bleakness. The rain just keeps falling. Just like the clouds today, Rin doesn't really give the feeling of wanting to be washed. She sulks in unison with the sky that she loves so. I shouldn't have come. Her presence only reminds me of how angry I got because of these exact same reasons, and how those reasons probably can't ever change. Even though I want to say I'm sorry, even though I don't want us to break apart, I can't bring myself to say either of these things. We keep measuring the rain-drenched streets one step at a time. Often when you walk with someone else, your steps become synchronized as if through some weird subconscious pact. I noticed that ours never do. Time passes and the stripes against the drum skin of my umbrella fade as the clouds above slowly disperse to reveal a cerulean blue. Eventually the rain yields enough for me to close the umbrella, shaking the excess water off before I do. While I wrestle with the mechanism, Rin stops so abruptly that I take 5 steps before realizing that she's not with me anymore. Stupid umbrella seems to be jammed. Oh? When I turn around, I find her staring at me with an impassive face. I wanted someone to say I understand how you feel. Wouldn't that be great? Is that an answer to the question from before? I'm not sure. Oh, son of a bitch! This is gonna be the neutral ending, so it's gonna end on a kind of, what's the word? Bittersweet note or something. Yeah, but why is it so important? Because otherwise I don't know if I can bear this. I was still in the middle of folding my umbrella, so I just answered something to get the conversation going, but what she says now freezes my blood. If someone says a joke and laugh with them, right? Is the joy doubled as a joy tripled, right? If someone is hurt and sad, you comfort and hug them, right? Because that way... She pauses, her mouth still halfway open, then remembers to close it. A gloom sets on her face and simultaneously on my heart. I don't know why the right words never come out. I don't know why I can laugh only when I make myself. I don't know why everything stays only inside me, even when it feels like I'm going to burst. Her flat, expressionless face does not waver even when she says that. Her usual steady voice becomes only slightly quieter than normal. But who would ever want to feel like that? Rin looks at me and I imagine the sadness reflecting from her eyes, whether it really is there or not. I don't want to feel like that. We stay silent for a little while after that. Rin because she said all she has to say at once. I because I have no clue how to process what she just said. I'm pressing the freaking buttons. Keys. I don't understand what Rin is saying. Well, I do, but I don't want to. For the first time, both of these things happen, and it has to be simultaneously. The irony is not lost on me. I think everyone wants to be understood, that's universal. But that's impossible, not only for me, but for anyone. So I said so too. You affect other people and are affected by them, but in the end, you see everything the way only you do. All people are alone, we just use each other to alleviate that loneliness. I wonder why I put it like that. It just feels that what Sai told me rang true, as if I had always thought like that without knowing it. Feels like she articulated my thoughts in clear, simpler words than that stupid story about Picasso. Rin drooped her head like a wilting flower, letting her bangs fall in front of her eyes so that I can't see them. Why do you say that when you made me feel otherwise? It's unfair. The shaky voice that says those words does not belong to Rin. I really thought you could be different, that I wouldn't have to be alone. It's a bitter voice of disappointment, spoken through clenched teeth and a quivering chest. I'm sorry. Why do you say something unfair like that? Her demanding tone invokes no particular feeling in me, apart from sadness that has been there since yesterday evening. She doesn't intimidate me at all, not anymore. Rin is not a prodigal art genius, nor an unpredictable idiot. Someone who could tear the logic lobe of my brain into shreds whenever she opened her mouth. She is just a girl that I thought I loved. Ah, son of a bitch! I loved one who wanted to be my friend, a friend whom I let down. I say that because saying otherwise would feel like lying. Lying. Simple questions are the hardest ones. I have to close my eyes so I can focus my thoughts enough to answer them. I'm no artist, I can never be on the same level with you. There's a world only you can see, and to be part of it, I will have to become you. That's something I can't do, no matter how much you wish me to. Rin takes in my explanation without batting an eyelid. I'm not a real artist either. I just paint because it makes me feel like I can really feel something. She holds her breath for a while before releasing it in a long, sigh-like flow. That's why I'll do it. I've decided I'll do it. Even if Sal says that, then that's what I will do. Do what? Rin starting a little shows that she had regressed into talking to herself again, but I'm glad I can snap her back even now. Teacher and I have talked with someone who is a very important person. I got a scholarship for a big art school in Tokyo. He said I could transfer there and start after the summer's over if I wanted to. I don't really get why. Hold on, what? Why didn't you tell? I just did. You're the first one I told because I decided just now. She keeps her cool, looking only mildly surprised at my shocked interjection. It's ridiculous how easily she can say something so life-changing. I can't believe it. After what happened in February, I've had enough change for this year. Even if things are going badly right now, I don't want everything to change. But what about Yamaku? Don't you want to graduate with everyone? My plea invokes no emotion. Everyone who? Emmy, me, everyone. I feel my pulse rising unnervingly, and my breathing becomes fast and shallow. I don't want this to happen. Life is not mine. You just said that everyone's alone. I didn't mean like that. You always said that that you'd have to seize the day and start living your life. I have to live my life too. Rin is twisting my words to justify running away again. It makes me angry. Now, shit, here we go again. Her ease, finality, and seriousness in announcing this is unacceptable. As if changing her life is something you can do on a moment's whim. No! How can you say that? Why don't you even try to belong? Desperate accusation has no effect. It feels like I am once again out of weapons. I can't reach through to her no matter what I try. Rin is so frustratingly absolute in her own judgment that it might make me hate her if I didn't love her, even though I don't know which way I am feeling anymore. Maybe I'm that kind of person, the kind that belongs only to herself. I won't accept that. Her nonchalant eyes do not seem to care whether I accept the decision or not. The pause lets me cool down to find my sensibilities. While I do, the parting rain clouds reveal a setting sun that still has time to shine its last few warming rays before cooling the day. The mosaic, or wherever, of light and shadow spreads on the walls of the buildings, on the street and the fence circling a park on the other side of the street. Rin's shadow is long enough to reach my feet. It's like one of those western movies. We have two cowboys staring each other down, ready to sling their guns at each other. Okay, Rin, it's a serious scene. We need some comedy. So, pull out your umbrellas. Ha! No. The one who loses nerve will eat lead. I freaking forget which one is right on pronunciation. I realize I would have the disadvantage because the sun is behind Rin, stinging my eyes. You hate me. She draws first and I have no counter. That face, though. Pat on the head. I don't know. Did I lose? Even if I did, what would it matter? I scramble for words that could salvage it. I find none. And my friend, I promise you that. I'm not the kind of guy who forgets about promises. I think that is the most important thing you could try to... Don't say it. Predicting what I was going to say, Rin throws herself into my arms, pressing her body against mine. I feel her rising to her tiptoes to match my height and snuggle closer. The scent of her hair is that of rain and paint thinner. Her body feels as cold as always. Her breathing against my neck is as hot as always. It's funny how all of these feel so familiar, even though Rin as a whole does not. Are you sure you can't hate me? Rin whispers into my ear so close I can feel the movements of her lips against my earlobe. It's teasing, taunting. If this was some other kind of situation, I'm sure it would tickle tantalizingly and I would giggle even though I'm a guy. It'd be easier if you did. No, it's pretty odd when you're hugging me like that. I wonder if it's because of my sullen voice, but she takes a step back, looking wistfully at her short arms. I wish she hadn't done that. I can't hug anyone, Sao. I'm a bad person like that. That's why I have to go. She disarms me completely with 3 simple sentences, rendering me unable to argue anymore. And since I can't, Rin is free to continue as she wills, shifting her weight from one foot to the other before she does. I'll learn to hug people in my own way. I'm sure I can become a real artist. If I do, I might not be able to be me anymore. The hint of a smile on her lips is a betrayal, a false sign of self-confidence in a future that even Rin can't foresee. I'd want to interpret it as a sign of hope, but I know better. Rin just keeps smiling that awkward forced smile of hers. That's why, please forget about me and I'll forget about you too. I'm sure that she jokes in the middle of saying something I would never come to hear. I don't think I'd want her to hear it anyway. This is not fair. Rin is not joking. Rin is always serious, but I can't accept it. I can't. Forget about you. How could I ever? That's what I'd like to say, but I don't know how I would continue. I can't come up with anything good to say, so I have to challenge her. How could you say such a thing? Rin raised her eyes to meet mine. They are serious and deep, a perfect image of the uncharted territory I always thought they were. Even now I can't read her emotions from those unblinking jade irises that never could reflect what they saw. It's easy after all, I'm good at forgetting things. Her unfairness is choking my throat, but I managed to utter the question burning my mind. This is the neutral ending? Freaking hell, the bad ending felt tame. This one's like, oh, bad endings are usually, hits you right there, man. She's like, oh, no, gotta get the bad ending to get over that. That was depressing. But the neutral ending's much more depressing than the bad ending was. The bad ending was brief. This is dragging on. It's like, okay, so the bad ending was like a punch to the gut, essentially. This one rips out your heart, squeezes it slowly. Yeah, just get all its worth out your feels, motherfucker. But anyways, back to the scene. So is this it? Is this goodbye? Rin kept looking at me gently without answering my question. From her eyes I could see that she didn't even need to say anything. There were no more words for us. She turned around and walked off without looking back. All around me the world kept changing little by little, but I was left standing there. The sun dropped below the horizon, casting long and thin shadows across the street. In the waning light, Rin's distancing back seemed to be like from a faraway dream. The gap between us grew slowly. The ripples on the puddle she stepped on expanded until they met the limits of their tiny existence and disappeared without a trace. Her words stayed frozen deep inside my heart. Shit! Well. Hang on. Damn it, chair. Must get... hit something. Okay, how should we do this? No. Play in the right key. No, actually, let's play this. Kind of did it with a bit of improv there, but whatever. So, I've never seen her neutral ending, but I haven't seen any of the neutral endings until well-being. This, that was pretty depressing. So I've heard like theories of that she kills herself or something like that, and for a moment I kind of was like, oh, that's probably what they're going with, because they mentioned about the artist thing. But when it came to the actual scene itself, I didn't really get that kind of feel. More of they're just like grown completely apart at that point, but didn't get really that impression. Where was I? Ah, yes. I say, where was I? Ah, yes. It's like, yes, implies I remember what I was talking about, but I don't. So, yeah. Depressing. Yeah, this room is really dark right now, because I haven't got any lights on. The laptop is the only light, and it's like nearly 8:30, so it's like pretty dark. And it's just like, it's the gloomy atmosphere. We've got to reload. We're going for the good ending now. Some people see it as the neutral ending as the canon ending, but then again, what ending is canon, really? I mean, you could end up with either character, any of the characters, any of the endings. There's no real true ending, or is there? I don't know. Unless the person who writes the scenario is like, yeah, this ending is the true ending, then who really knows? But we're going with this one, because this is the good ending, and I prefer it that way. Because that was just depressing. But if you found someone like that, then what? Do you really think there would be some kind of be-all, end-all thing? Star-crossed lovers and happily ever after? My question is met with a blank stare, the darkness in her eyes unfazed by the thinly veiled bitterness. No, I don't think that. At least then I wouldn't have to be alone. She whispers the words to the lights of the town, but I hear them anyway. I shouldn't have done this. Not yet. The expedition. She nods and closes her eyes, breathing calmly out as if to prove she can. Then continues talking to herself. My, a long conjunction of the planets? No, not that. I double-checked and I got up with the left foot and did everything else right. It's me. I was wrong. She stands straight and stretches before stepping past me out into the street. Wait, where are you going? She stops on her tracks and turns around, looking at me critically. School. I'm leaving. What? Why? Because I want to be me. Rin walks off, leaving me behind, utterly confused. Rin! But something she said really touched me, or maybe it was the way she said it. Maybe it was the fact that she said it. I want to say something back to her before I forget this feeling again. As if grant me a wish, Rin stops in her tracks. She doesn't turn around, just keeps waiting for me to say what I want to, even though I don't have the time to think about it. Rin, listen, I don't believe you have to be alone, even if you never meet anyone like that. I don't know if she heard my words, but by the way, she doesn't react in any way. For the final time, she starts walking away from the gallery. So, where's Tezuka? I can only shake my head, but as it doesn't seem to be a sufficient answer, I have to say something. She ran away. What? The horrific realization spreads on his face like wildfire. This is a fiasco! Catastrophe! What is that girl thinking? The most important event of her life, and she just runs off? And you, why didn't you stop her? I'm going to hold you personally responsible. Sai interrupts him, holding her hands up calmly. It's good she intervened. The teacher was starting to get a few weird looks from the nearby guests. Now, Shinichi, she probably just has stage fright. I don't know her as well as you people do, but I did get the image that she is somewhat peculiar. This kind of thing can happen. She'll be fine. I'll explain that she suddenly became ill. The guests will surely understand. What? Look around you. Everyone seems to be rather happy with their free wine and chit-chat.
The guests will be fine, but we are missing our opportunities here. Networking, making contacts and acquaintances.
As the adults keep arguing about something that can't be helped, Emmy tugs my sleeve to get my attention. Yeah, I remember this because I've, been through this one, the good ending before. So it was kind of weird when he came back in there and Emmy was nowhere to be seen because she's actually there when she picked his choice. She doesn't look very happy either. Come on. Where? We're gonna find Rin and kick her ass. What? I can't believe it. She's so stupid. That Rin, how can she do this? I'm telling you, she doesn't have a bit of common sense in her head. Emmy is seriously angry, only missing steam rising from her ears. I guess I understand Emmy. She is that kind of a person. Give up has never felt like a part of her vocabulary, and maybe she feels it shouldn't be a part of anyone's vocabulary. It's probably best to leave her alone for tonight. What? Are you a Rin expert now? She takes a firm stance and puts her hands on her hips. It's like she wants to pick a fight with me too. No, I don't think that's even possible in the first place. I just don't think kicking her ass would do her any good. My melancholic remark surprisingly works, as Emmy slumps her shoulders a little and sighs. I know that. You do? Last time I did that, it changed nothing. Wait. It's the same image every time, but it's never been at night that we've seen him staring out the window of the bus or wherever. Riding back to school in an empty late-night bus is silent. Both of us keep staring at the lights flashing past the windows without saying a word. The nightly grounds are quiet, lit only by the one moon and yellow lampposts. We see our good nights in front of my dormitory. Emmy reflectively clenching her fist compels me to ensure that she won't assault Rin the moment I let her out of my sight. Promise me not to go scold her. She looks up at me, her eyes again flaring with anger that I match with as calming a stare as I can. It's only easy to face an angry woman if you are not the target of her. Well, obviously. After a minute of the mismatched staring contest, she sighs and shakes her head in defeat. You're too nice, Asao. Did you know that? Hints of a smile are tugging the corners of her mouth as she says that, and she seems a lot more relaxed. What a sudden change of mood. Indeed, especially after we went through Rin's neutral ending not long ago. Maybe she wasn't as angry as it seemed to begin with. Maybe her moods change usually. If I was, I would have let you have your way. Wouldn't let you have your way. Does that mean you're only nice to Rin? Both of us are hiding our concern behind empty jokes, but at least it puts me in a good mood. Emmy waggles her eyebrows with a half-amused smirk, trying to push my buttons. Not gonna work. No, it just means I'm not nice only to you. Hey! Good night, Emmy. How long have I been recording? Wait for the scene. The last day before summer vacation is waning slowly. How long have I been recording? It boggles my mind when I see that I've only been recording an hour and 39 minutes, because it feels like 2 hours at least. But I'm not freaking going for the whole freaking route leading up to her good ending right away, because she has one of those scenes as well that hasn't come to pass or anything, because that's only in the good ending one. I can't even remember when that even pops up. But there's still that and her good ending, essentially, and everything else leading up to it, I suppose. So, I'll see you next time, viewers. See you next time.